Hello, good brothers. Hello, good sisters. Time for another Star Wars. As it flies off into the distance. Item, taking a look at the new Micro Galaxy Squadron AT-AT Walker. Love this. Look at that chrome on the packaging right there. So they've done a new AT-AT Walker, and I had a Walker a couple of years ago. It was the humongous Hasbro one that they did, and it was just way too big for me. I like the Walker, but I'll make a lot of space for something like Castle Grayskull, or what we got back here. Fort Carium is humongous, the Turtles sewer playset. Jeez, if you want to talk about taking up tons of space, this is actually one of the big reasons I got rid of that humongous Walker. So I got that big Millennium Falcon up there, and I just couldn't really justify having both of them taking up that much space. It was great, but you know, it's just an Imperial Walker. You know, this is He-Man's home. Can take up a lot of space for that. The flag is the G.I. Joe basically base, or one of their bases. But a Walker, it just seemed to me the longer I had it, couldn't really justify taking up that much space on just a thing that was in the movie for a couple minutes, blown up, and then didn't really factor into the rest of the original trilogy. Really nice artwork on the side there. And that's why this thing is actually perfect, because I was looking forward to having a Walker again in the collection. I actually don't have any Walker memorabilia whatsoever, not an AT-AT Walker anyway. And I was a little on the fence because the price is a little high. Picked this one up at Microplay in Canada, but when I saw the electronic lights and sounds, it was a little bit of deja vu. It was like this Falcon that I picked up not too long ago. Didn't really need a detailed miniature Micro Machines style Falcon, but having lights and sounds. I don't even remember how to do this. Ah, there we go. Look at that. That is amazing. So yeah, the electronics really sold me on that Falcon, and I thought, wow, that would be cool to have a smaller Walker that doesn't take up as much space. Hopefully it will fit up on my shelf up there. I mean, it should. The legs bend a little bit. And also lights and sounds, and also the figures. It was very similar to my decision to get the Falcon. Like, I love these little Micro Machine style figures. A little, it's exactly like the big Hasbro Walker had. It had a little speeder in the back. So they basically shrunk down the big Walker I had to a size that makes more sense to me for where the AT-AT Walker is on my list of iconic Star Wars vehicles. Nice artwork in there. I like it, but it's not up there with the Falcon or Luke's X-Wing. No assembly required, and here's what it comes with 5 figures. This nice little tray. Comes with a speeder, like an Endor speeder, but it's in white for Hoth, and it looks like it can go on this stand right here, like so. Comes with this thing. I think that's a line for Luke to hang from it from underneath. I'm guessing it plugs underneath somewhere. And it comes with the Walker itself. So the batteries aren't included. You're gonna have to use a Phillips screwdriver, undo these 2 screws underneath, because this whole thing is the battery compartment. Underneath here, it's nice when batteries are included, but sometimes it's there's a safety issue, hazard issue, transporting batteries over borders from one country to another. And that's why sometimes Batteries are not included. And this looks like it takes 3 AAA batteries, so let's pop some in. And once you got those in, pop the battery cover back on. Sounds like I've got something loose rattling around in there. I was hearing it even before I put the batteries in. Hear that? Something in there. But anyways, let's get this cover back on. Get to that in a few minutes. And there's the AT-AT, or AT-AT walker. I've always called it AT-AT ever since I was young. And now that the batteries are in, you got 2 buttons here, it looks like. One on the side. Get that sound. Got the walking sound, that's cool. Awesome. I guess that just repeats. And then there's another button on the top here.
Prepare to target the main generator.
Oh, cool. Lines from the movie with the crew. Oh, that's awesome.
Target maximum firepower.
That's so cool.
All troops will debark for ground assault. Prepare to target the main generator. Target maximum firepower.
That's really cool. I believe that's it for the electronic lights and sounds. There is a big panel on the side that comes off here. And we got some lights in here as well. There is a huge transport area. You can put a whole bunch of stormtroopers or snowtroopers in there. Little seats for them all. And then a light on the side there. Oh, it's powering down. This thing right here is for the snow speeder bike. You can hook it onto there and store it in there. And there's some more little computers, light up computers in there. That looks awesome. Like the Falcon, right here, the Walker has some wear and tear, but I like it better than the Falcon one. The Falcon was just way too much dirt wash. This is a lot more subtle. And the Walker here looks more like dirt than 1,000 years of carbon scoring and space debris. It's a lot more subtle. It's really, really well done. And then the front part, where the crew goes, can open as well. Opens like so. And I wonder... Nope. Yep. So the front of the Walker that lights up red, you can actually see on the inside lighting up too. And that's a really nice touch. And there's a little clip there for the officer who's standing back there so that it doesn't rattle around. It looks like everything is designed to hold the figures pretty securely. So why don't we do that and load this thing up with some of the figures that it included. These are so tiny. How small this is. That is just like the old Galoob action fleet. Wow. The arms are connected too, just like the old action fleet figures, and the heads. Oh, is it individual? Almost feels like they can move They can move independently. The old action fleet figures, which I actually have some right here. I'll be able to compare an old one with a new one for you. Here is an old action fleet X-wing, or no, this is a snow speeder. pilot because they had the brown boots and the winter coats. The arms are connected, the legs are connected. And then the new Disney stuff. Oh, we got Luke Skywalker right here. I didn't notice the blue lightsaber. And a united lightsaber. It's a little bent from how it was in the package. And yeah, it seems to me like the legs and arms are individually articulated. A little side-by-side comparison of the two. The old action fleet appears to be just a little taller, a little bigger. Detail is just about the same though. Wow, that's really impressive. You can actually have your Luke not just hanging from the walker, but ready to... I gotta fix this thing. I'm going to soak this in some hot water and try to correct this bend. And that looks a little bit better. Just soaking in really hot water for a couple seconds and then in cold water. You soak it in hot water, then you hold it to where it's supposed to be, and then in cold water. Let's get the commander up in here first of all. And this looks like it's going to be a little tricky to get him in here. Okay, I got two of the guys in here, and this is like working on a model. This is so tiny. I don't know if this guy's supposed to be sitting or standing. I always thought they were standing in the back. So I got him back there with his legs clipped in there. And this other guy, driver, sitting in there. The top closes if he's standing. I think that looks better. And when you light that front part up, the inside of the cockpit lights up too. Looks really cool. And it only came with one of the drivers in white. So this set is expandable. Hopefully they'll make expansion packs, because it only comes with two snow troopers. It's shutting down again. And here's a close look. The detail on these guys. They even have little backpacks. It's only two of them, but it can hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. 10 snow troopers in the back. And let's see just how difficult it is to get these guys in here. It's nice that they have the little clips to hold them in, but I'm not really seeing how you're supposed to easily get a trooper in there. Moving his arms up might help. This is, again, if you want the feeling of working on a model without having to deal with all of the glue and the paint, this might be right up your alley. I'm not seeing how to easily get these guys in here with the way those clips are in there. I think I figured it out. I'll raise the arms up a little bit, stick them in like that, and then you have to push him back. You have to get the little armchairs to go right under the backpack. Or the armrests, I should say. And you just shove him in. So he's in there. The problem is his feet stick straight out. Doesn't have any knee bend. And he can't really at this scale. So it's too bad that the chair is so elevated. If it was closer to the ground, then it would look better. The feet would just be along the ground. So, a cool idea, but it's kind of a scary execution. It's really cramped. Having them side by side, there isn't really enough room to put a second guy in right beside him. Well, that one's a little bit better. It'd be really cool to load it all up with snow troopers. The only problem is, like, look at it from above. I don't see how you can put another snow trooper across from one of them. There's not enough room for their feet. See how their feet would be running into each other? They would have to be there'd have to be a gap, so it's like you're losing half of the seats here. Only carrying pretty much 5 of these guys instead of 10. And we've got this thing over here, which looks like it holds the speeder. Oh, and I haven't done that part yet, actually. Let's pull another snow trooper out and see if he can actually ride on this thing. It'd be really cool if he could fit on it. And he can. He's in a stand-up position, but he's sitting or straddling it perfectly. He's holding onto it perfectly with his hand positioning. Wow, that looks really cool. So you can either attach the speeder onto this stand, or, oh, I just lost the driver. You can hook it into this thing somehow. I don't know if you're supposed to have a rider on it, actually, when it's on the hook. Where does this hook go? Underneath? I guess you can just have it underneath like that if you want. Doesn't really fit that way. You would think it would go in like that, but you can go this way and then lower it down with this little wheel right here. It's actually got quite a bit of slack to it. Looks like it's got enough to go all the way to the ground. That's awesome. And you can just bring it back up. And the instructions say that you can store 4 of these speeder bikes. So again, hopefully there's an expansion pack with snow speeder bikes and snow troopers, so you can fill this thing up a little bit more. You could use another snow driver, AT-AT driver in the front there. That'd look really cool with 4 of them all in there. And I don't know if you can store one of these speeders with a driver on it. I don't think you'll be able to fit the... Nope. Can't fit the cover on with a speeder in there. And then if you go in one of the lower ones, I don't know if... Oh yeah, you can. Cool. You can fit a driver on there in one of the lower ones. Still really loose on there though. It's a little more secure. On there nice and tight, and pop the cover back on. Completely closed. It's really neat to be able to look inside this thing. It reminds me of the giant Hasbro AT-AT walker, AT-AT walker. Similar type of thing. There was a area to store snow troopers in the big Hasbro one. It's cool that that's a holdover, and then even this little stand here. If you're not using it, if you don't need it, there's actually plenty of space, tons of space to just wedge it in behind there. So that's all the stuff going on the inside. Now, how about we hook the farm boy up to this walker with his line. This clips around his waist, and then the other end of it has a little hook on it, but when you turn it, it's locked. And when you do that, you can have Luke hanging from underneath, just like he did in the movie. Now, this line actually does zip up a little bit. On the end here, you can push it through and pull Luke up. So this needs to be able to fit through somehow, unless it's just like I don't know, have a little bit of it tucked out like this, so that you're able to grab the other end of it, and then by doing that you can pull Luke up. Yeah, that works. Pull him all the way up, and you can have him lightsaber in an opening, pop a grenade in, and then just like in the movie, you can detach him from the line and drops down to the ground. It's alright, he's a Jedi, he'll be okay. This thing has quite a bit of articulation. The head has this kind of rubbery material on the neck, and it can look left and right. These guns, I don't believe they move. It can also look up fairly well. It can look down really well as well. It can be blasting away at some of your rebel ships. And then the legs have tons of articulation. Tons. You can put it in nap mode or in lots of different standing poses. Since the legs bend both here as well as here, as well as down in the foot area, that moves too on all of them. So you can get a really good, secure, flat-footed pose for this thing, and that's especially important if you want it stepping on a speeder. So move one leg out of the way, lift up the other leg, and crunch. Good ratcheting joints. It's really nice and secure. And that's a great way to display it. Walker stepping on a snow speeder with Luke Skywalker underneath there. That's what I wanted to do with a big Hasbro one. It's just humongous, and then the Hasbro snow speeder is pretty big too. So having a big Walker stepping on a big snow speeder, it looks cool. It's just, that's a lot of real estate that could be taken up by Bravestar or Thundercats or Silverhawks or Inhumanoids or whatever else is back there. And if you've got a fairly decent sized collection, then real estate is sparse and very important, and you got to pick your favorites. As much as I love this scene in the movie, I prefer to have it be this size, about a foot wide and high, rather than 2 or 3 feet.
All troops will debark for ground assault.
And to wrap up, I'll give you a size comparison with the Micro Galaxy Falcon. So the Falcon is humongous. I don't know if these are to scale with each other. Falcon kind of seems like it's a little bigger than it should be next to a walker. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not too picky though in this particular case. I think it's just really cool to have a really posable, electronic, super detailed walker with tiny figures in it that isn't taking up way too much space. Seems pretty durable too. And I love that big Millennium Falcon, but it's also cool to have one that I can hold just in one hand and has lights and sounds. So this is really cool. It's cool for people who don't have a lot of space. I wish that the price was a little bit lower for what they are, but I guess anything with Star Wars on it is going to command a little bit more money than most properties. But I think it's perfect for people who want a lot of Star Wars vehicles but don't have a lot of space for all the Hasbro stuff. So this is a chance to own all these iconic vehicles, starships, even locations if they get into that stuff. And you can fit it pretty much all on one shelf. And luckily, it does fit on my Star Wars shelf up here. So to give you another scale comparison, this is the Hasbro Snowspeeder right there. And there's the Micro Galaxy Walker stomping on a little mini Snowspeeder. Looks fantastic. That's awesome. They're doing a fantastic job on this line. Very impressive. Got that old toy quality feel to them. I'm looking forward to what else they have coming up. I don't really know if there's anything else I'm interested in for the Micro Galaxy. I've got the Falcon, I've got this Walker, I've got a couple I haven't reviewed yet, X-Wing and TIE Fighters. But even if I don't pick up any more of these things, then I'm still going to be interested from afar.
Target maximum firepower.
Alright, thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, Nerdmas Day!